I'll do one of Glenn Orland's stories. I know all you folks know Glenn Orland. He's lived in Stone County since 1955. That's what, 60 years ago or something? So I've hung around him for most of them years, and I told him one time if he ever died, I was going to do most of his act. I'd been around him enough, and I had most of it memorized. So I'm going to do the one, let's see, which one am I going to do? Oh, the one about the rental. Glenn said one time he was up at Branson playing, so I'll tell like it's me and Cole up there. And we're coming back from Branson and wanted a Coca-Cola real bad. So we stopped at one of them trading posts. Well, there was an Indian sitting out on the front porch greeting people. And he said, "How?" And I said, "Huh?" He said, "Come over here, sucker, customer. and I've got a riddle for you." He said, "If you can solve this riddle, I'll buy you a drink, and if you can't, you buy me one." So I said, "Oh, I love riddles." I said, "Hit me with it." He said, "Well, if it's not my brother, and it's not my sister, but it's my mother's son, who is it?" And I scratched my head, and I said, "Well, I don't know. I can't figure nothing out of that." I said, "Let's go on in and have a drink, and I'll buy it." So I'm buying that drink, and I'm still thinking about that riddle. And I looked over at him, and I said, "You never did tell me about the answer to that riddle." I said, "If it's not my brother, and it's not my sister, but it's my mother's son, who is it?" The old Indian said, "Man, that was supposed to be easy." He said, "I was going to buy the drinks." I said, "You can't even answer it." He said, "Everybody knows it's me." I said, "It had to be me." So I just can't wait to get back to Mountain View to run this by Cole. I said, "I'll drive up there, Cole will be sitting there, and I'll run up and I'll run this riddle up." So I drove up, and there he sat. I said, "Cole, if you can solve this riddle, I'll buy you a drink. If you can't, you have to buy me one." So I run it by him. I said, "Cole, if it's not my mother or brother, and it's not my sister, but it's my mother's son, who is it?" Cole said, "Man, I don't know nothing about that." He said, "I can't solve that at all. So let's get in there and have that drink." So he bought me a Coke, and we're drinking, and directly he looked over at me and said, "Junior, you never did tell me the answer to that riddle." And I said, "Well, Cole, it's supposed to be easy." I said, "If it's not your brother, and it's not your sister, but it's your mother's son, that should be easy." And Cole said, "Well, who is it?" I said, "It's that Indian. It's on the porch." One about the school teacher. Glenn said that when he was a kid, he had to work all the time. You know, full time, had to do chores and do everything, and said he didn't have much time for school. So when he'd get to school, sometimes he'd go to sleep in class. And he said he had the meanest and ugliest school teacher that ever was. Said she'd sit up there and she'd go, "Glenn!" Wake him up every once in a while, and come back with a ruler and hit him on the hand. And said he went to, one day he went to sleep in class, and she's up there teaching away, and she went in there, "Glenn!" Hit him on the hand and said, "Who signed that Declaration of Independence?" Glenn looked up and said, "Well, I don't know who signed that Declaration of Independence." She said, "Well, if you're not going to try to learn anything in this class, then just go home and stay there." So she sent him home. Well, he met his dad on the way home. And his dad, he's a great big mean guy too. So he looked at Glenn and said, "What are you doing coming home in the middle of the day?" She said, "Well, the teacher sent me home. Said if I wasn't going to try to learn anything in class, don't even come to class." He said, "Well, we're going to march right back up there to that teacher, and we're straightening this out." So they march up there, walk right in. That teacher said, "What are you doing here?" And he said, "You sent Glenn home. I come up to find out what this is all about." She said, "Well, I was teaching. He went to sleep in class." Said, "I asked him a question, and he didn't know the answer." Said, "I sent him home." Said, "I asked him who signed that Declaration of Independence, and he said, 'Well, I don't know.'" And Glenn said, "Well, yeah, that's just the way it was." And the dad said, "Come here, Glenn. Let's go outside and let me talk to you a minute." So he went outside. And he said, he looked him right in the eye, and he said, "Now, son, if you're the one that signed that thing, you get in there and admit to it." Song called "The Old Gospel Ship." I'm sure all you ladies can hum along with me. I have good news to bring, and that is why I say, spending my time in prayer. And when my ship comes in, I'll leave this world of sin and go sailing through the air. Oh, I'm gonna take a trip, that good old gospel ship. I'm going far beyond the sky, and I'm gonna shout and sing until heaven's ring, while I'm bidding this world goodbye.
Yeah.
Once in a while I'd help him. Something happened to Bob or Lucy or something, and I'd have to be the one that propped him up, so I learned all of his jokes. So I could come on and he'd say, you know, I had a broke arm. When I was being born, my arm got broke. See, you can feel it right there, girl. See, you can feel it, yeah. The doctor broke my arm, see. I was trying to hold on till the wedding. Now, I had a real good job one time. I was working up the bean factory. And I got fired from that job. Yeah, now they fired me. And it was a really good job. You see, I got to put them beans in the can upside down, and they started getting complaints about the hiccups. They fired me. Well, this burglar one time was robbing a house. And he had a little flashlight, and he went in the dark. And he's sneaking in that house to rob it. Well, first thing he runs into was a parrot sitting there, and that parrot said, "Jesus will get you for this." Well, he looked around, he didn't see anybody, and he said, "Well, that parrot's just mouthing off. He didn't mean a thing by that." And he just started looking at that parrot and said, "Now, Jesus is going to get you for this." "Yeah," he said, "I'm not paying attention to you." Well, he looked at that next corner. There was a great big bulldog sitting there in that corner. Ooh, and he's gnashing his teeth and barking and growling. And that parrot said, "Sick him, Jesus." Harry got to be really good friends down the valley. Every time I'd go to one of them jams down at Mission or McAllen, he was there. So we just sat up there with each other and have fun, you know. Well, he told me, he said, "I live in Baton Rouge, Louisiana." He said, "You come over and visit me sometime." So I said, "All right." Well, a couple of years ago, I packed up and I went to Louisiana. And I got down on Harris Street and I asked where he lived. And they said, "Oh, yeah." He said, "You must be a normal person, because Harry's the only normal person on this street." So anyway, we get down there and I find him. And he said, "Well, I'll take you out riding, Junior. We'll just go out all over the country riding." So we get in that car and, man, we're talking and having a big time, not paying attention to where we're at. We come to the sign. It said, "Texas State Line." Well, we get over that line. And I said, "Man, I didn't know Texas looked a whole lot like Louisiana." I said, "You can't even tell the difference." And so we stopped at this big bar, Honky Tonk. Well, we went in. That bar must have been 300 yards long. And I said, "Man, that's a big bar." And he said, "I'll tell you folks, you're in Texas now." I said, "We do things bigger down here." Well, we sat down at that bar. Well, Harry said, "Well, what about a beer?" I said, "Could you bring us a beer?" And the guy brought us two of them pitchers, gallon pitchers of beer. And he said, "Man, I didn't want one that big." He said, "I'm telling you, you're in Texas. We do things bigger down here." He said, "Well, if we're going to drink all that beer, then we got to have something to snack on with it." Well, they brought us a bushel of peanuts. And this time I said, we didn't really want a whole bushel. He said, "I'm trying to tell you, you're in Texas now." I said, "It's bigger down here." Well, after we drank all that beer, well, Harry, he gets wanting to go to the bathroom. So he asked the lady, he said, "Where's the bathroom?" He said, "See that hall way down there, about the 10th door? It's the bathroom on the right." Well, we get to walking down that hall, and Harry gets to wanting to go real bad, so he starts running. Well, the door's open. The door on the other side is open. So Harry just made a dive in that door. Well, it went to the swimming pool, and he fell in. Well, when I caught up with him and run in that door, Harry's hollering, "Don't flush it! Don't flush it!"
In country music was the Bristol session when the Carter family and Jimmie Rodgers first recorded their songs. And on August the 4th, Jimmie Rodgers recorded his first song, so we'll do a Jimmie Rodgers song.
All right.
Put her in G and I'll just start it with a yodel. I'd rather drink muddy water, sleep in a holler log. I'd rather drink muddy water and sleep in a holler log than to be in Atlanta and treated like a dirty dog. She's got eyes like diamonds on her teeth shine just the same. She got eyes like diamonds, her teeth shine just the same. She got red ruby lips, she got hair like a horse's mane. Hey, 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 but I ain't gonna marry, no, I ain't gonna settle down. No, I ain't gonna marry and I ain't gonna settle down. I'm gonna be around her till the police guns me down. But there once lived a sweet gal I thought I might like to wed. There lived a sweet gal I thought I might like to wed. But I found out she eats them crackers in bed. Lord, Lord, I would let I know you've heard this, it's an old tune, over 100-year-old. Hank Snow revised it back in the 50s. Give me a D chord.
D chord. Caribbean.
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 Have you ever been down to Haiti when that old sun was sinking low? There's nothing but romance everywhere you glance, and them ladies' hearts are all aglow. I'm when the Cuban queen, she steps upon the scene, they all stare like statues made of stone. And before they realize what we call their eyes, all them other gals are loving down in the Caribbean, since not a dream years in, they all stare at the lady with the charm. And for miles away you can see her sway to the dance of music playing love song. Up in a tree so high, way up in the sky, there sits this wide-eyed monkey on a limb. He wondered why do people go to so much trouble just to try to be like him. He doesn't understand it takes a lady's hand to set a man's heart all aglow. And before too long they start singing the song and then they join the control line.
Break eight.
What's wrong with it? We're going to sing songs off our CD, and George has got them back here hid somewhere.
One thing about it, you better get them here because you won't get them to Walmart.
All right.
Wait a minute.
Put her in G chord. It's slowly killing me. It's slowly killing me. It seems that growing old is slowly killing me. Now I'm a senior citizen, filled with aches and pains. I should have been a weatherman and know every time it rains. I used to be in the Dutch for dough, but now I can't touch my knee. It seems that growing old is slowly killing me. Now I'm getting overweight, my blood pressure's kinda high. With this high cost of living, George, I just can't afford to drive. And I can't afford to drive my own truck on my Social Security. Why it seems that growing old is slowly killing me. Here we go now. It's slowly killing me. It's slowly killing me. It seems that growing stone. My chest is filled below my belt. There's a loss in memory. It seems that growing old is slowly killing me. Well, it's hard to hear and it's hard to walk, and I have done no wrong. And now that doctor says I've got that high cholesterol. I've got a cataract in both my eyes, midnight it's hard to see. It seems that growing old is slowly killing me. One more time. It's slowly killing me. It's slowly killing me. It seems.
Well, that's on our CD too.
Yeah, it's on the CD too. Take a truck, it's just take a truck, behind me by stuff, take a truck, down highway number 5. I was late when I pulled out the beaver. I'm trying to get to this show here in Mountain View. When I got behind the chicken truck in Rasco, well, 35 was all it's gonna do. I was mad and I couldn't get around him, and a funny smell was beginning to get to me, and something kept on messing up my windshield. While the further I went, the harder it got to see. Here we go, Russ. Take a truck, it's just behind me by stuff. Down highway number 5. Well, I hit Yellow Bucket and Rooster Run, slowing me down when I heard a bit of going. Chicken run down highway number 5. There's a lot of crooked roads up in these Ozarks. Hurt near the ones got double yellow lines. If you get behind the chicken truck around here, yeah, I'll tell you, Russ, you just can't make good time. He slowed down and I finally tried to round him on that big long hill just south of Mountain View. He had a box of Colonel Sanders on the dashboard. He was eating fried chicken and throwing the nose at me. Take the truck, it's just my truck, behind me by stuff. Take the truck, down highway number 5. Well, I hit Cowboy Plucking and a rooster crowing, slowing me down when I have been going. Take the truck, down highway number 5. Now, Russ, saying I look like that monkey you seen down at the zoo, that's going a little bit too far. You'll have to apologize for that.
Well, I don't know.
Well, when are you going to apologize?
When I see that monkey.
Well, what do you take me for anyway, a fool?
Well, I don't take anybody by first impressions.
Roger Gardner's going to do the Matchbox Blues. Well, we got an
Go
hour.
ahead and do chicken truck, Junior, and I'll do matchbox.
We've got a whole hour. Go ahead.
Gene.
It's too hot to do two. Think you've got trouble, Gene. Well, it seems that growing old is slowly killing me. Now my car sounds like an old tin can, and my wife's run off with another man. I lost the money in a poker game. My income tax come due. Well, doctor told me not to smoke, drink nothing stronger than a Coke. I ain't even supposed to hear a dirty joke, cause laughter plays in my heart. ours is a Tramp on the Street. I know some of you folks have heard this song. Hazel Cole's great song. Only a tramp lies the sad days. I'd be lay down the rich man's cage. He begged for the crumb, the rich man to eat. But they left him to die like the tramp on the street. He was some other's star. He was some other's son. I once he was married. Once he was young. Why some mother rocked him, the little darling to sleep. But they left him to die like the tramp on the street. Why Jesus died on Calvary's tree. He shed his lifeblood for you and for me. Why they pierced his side, hands and his feet. But they left him to die like the tramp on the street. He was Mary's own darling. He was God's chosen son. I once he was barren. Once he was young. My Mary, she rocked him, her little darling to sleep. But they left him to die like the tramp on the street. If Jesus should come, knock at your door, would you welcome him in? Give him bread from your store. Would you welcome him in? Would you turn him away? Then God would deny you on the great judgment day.
What other song?
Sing or be funny.
Whatever one you want to do.
Either one.
All right, I like to tell these stories.
Tell a story then.
When I was in school, I wasn't a very good student. See, I had to work
I
all
heard
the
that.
time. I had to work all the
heard
time
that.
at home. I mean, all night. I mean, and we'd coon hunt, and I wouldn't get any sleep. And, you know, I had to make a living for the family. I was just a little boy. Well, anyway, I'd get up out of school, and I'd go to sleep in class. And that teacher, she didn't think much of me. Anyway, I had the meanest and ugliest teacher you ever seen, been on the job for 60 years.
She hit you on the hand with a ruler?
Yeah, she hit me on the head with a ruler and wake me up. Well, I was sitting back there one day asleep, and she hollered, "Junior, Junior!" I perked up. She said, "Who wrote that Declaration of Independence?" And I looked right at her and I said, "Well, I don't know who wrote that Declaration of Independence." And she went right back to sleep. That teacher woke me up and said, "Junior," said, "if you're not going to try to learn anything in this class, you go home and stay there till you decide to want to learn something." Well, I met my dad on the way home. And he said, "Why are you coming home in the middle of the day? They're having school." And I said, "Well, that teacher sent me home." And she asked me who wrote that Declaration of Independence, and I told her, "Lord, I don't know who wrote that Declaration of Independence." He said, "Well, I'm going to march you right back up to that schoolhouse and we'll straighten this out." So we get back up to the schoolhouse and we bust right in, and that teacher's sitting there, and my dad wanted to have an explanation on why he sent me home. She said, well, I asked him who wrote the Declaration of Independence, and he said, I just don't know. So and I told him if he's not going to try to learn anything in here, don't come back. And my dad said, come here, son, let's go outside and straighten this out. We get out there, and my dad looked at me and said, now, son, if you wrote that Declaration of Independence, you admit to it.
Sound like me, I got kicked out of 3rd grade for not shaving.
This is a true story here. This ain't no joke. I went to where he graduated out there in Pleasant Grove, and I took a picture on the wall of him with hair on it and everything. I was so proud of it. I went to Walmart, and they threw it away. They said it was copyrighted, and they threw it away.
Junior was born, it wasn't copyrighted yet, clear back then.
No, it's copyrighted, so I went later.
They took the picture.
They threw it away, and later I went back and the little girl was there, and she done it for me. True story.
I'm going to try it out on you to see if it's funny before I use it on the stage. This Cajun guy, he was down there at Baton Rouge walking down the street. I mean, having all kinds of fun walking around. And he comes up on this big church. And there's a sign on that board out there at church that said, prayer helps everything. Yeah, and he sat there reading that, and the preacher walks out and he said, can we help you, sir? And he said, is that prayer actually true? And that preacher said, yeah. I said, prayer helps everything. And he said, well then, he said, why don't you pray for me? He said, I need a little prayer. And I said, I need somebody to pray for my hearing. Well, that preacher said, all right, I'll do it. So he laid his hand up on his head and shook it a time or two and prayed for about a minute or two. Pushed him back and he said, how's your hearing now, Mr. Boudreaux? He said, I don't know. It's not till next Wednesday up at Baton Rouge.
Can I do something?
Yes. Yes. If you
I
can.
play the piano song.
Thank you, Linda. It's not Mr. Junior Folks or
Miss Helen gave me this song. We've been friends for years, me and Helen. And in fact, the folks used to live down on the Guyan Road down, our neighbors, way down there. Oh, give me the roses while I live, G chord. Wonderful things our folks are said when they have passed away. Roses adorn the narrow bed over the sleeping clay. Give me the roses while I live, trying to cheer me on. Useless are flowers that we give after the soul is gone. There's Charlie Mink on that dog. Kind words are useless when folks lie cold in a narrow bed. Don't wait till death to speak kind words. Now should the words be said. Give me the roses while I live, trying to cheer me on. Useless are flowers that we give after the soul has gone. Play it again, Johnny. was not worth to give good deeds after you passed away. Now is the time to sow good seeds while you're on earth we stay. Give me the roses while I live, trying to cheer me on. Useless are flowers that we give after the soul is gone. As I said on the Jimmy Rogers Show one time, now we get back to something we really know how to do. Jeff and Will and I done that Jimmy Rogers Show many and many a year, and Tina Shirley played on the senior citizen with us. We was down there for 5 or 6 years with Jeff. D chord. My good gal trying to make a fool out of me. Yeah, my gal trying to make a fool out of me. She trying to make me believe I ain't got that old TV. I got that old TV. I can't eat a bite. I got that old TV. I can't eat a bite. It's got me worried so I can't even sleep at night. I got the big blues. Play around it, Jeff. Okay. Take it, Jeff.
Let it rain down, sorrow, rain down over me.
Lord, Lord, Lord.
Let it rain down, sorrow, rain down over me. On my body, rattle on a train on the west.
Hey, hey, hey.
I got the blues.
I've been fighting like a lion, look like I'm going to lose. I've been fighting like a lion, look like I'm going to lose. I ain't never been nobody, ever beat the TB blues. I got the TB blues. Sing it, Jeff.
Heavy but the graveyard in a lonesome place.
Hey, hey, hey.
That old graveyard sure is a lonesome place.
They put you on your back, shovel mud down in your face.
That's all.
I got the TB blues. Yeah, sure I am. Last fall, late last fall, well, I got a call from some of my deer hunting buddies down in Louisiana. And they wanted me to come down to deer count. So I'm getting ready to go, and Russ comes along, and he said, I've been to Louisiana, I want to go with you. Yeah, I don't know a thing about deer hunting. I said, that's all right. If you want to go along, just pack your stuff, bring your guitar. We'll sing a song. So we get down to Louisiana, 3:30 on Saturday afternoon. Well, them people's watching that LSU football game, and it's in the second half, and we cannot get any of them loose from that television to even talk to us. So we just go on in. And I said, well, I'll get in here and see what I can do about cleaning this place up. So we get in there, and Russ said, well, what can I do to help? And I said, well, I can see we're out of water right off. I said, you take them 2 water buckets and go over to the spring and get us some water. I'd been there before, and I told Russ where the spring was, about 100 yards down the path there. So we run over there to get that water, and he starts coming back, and I heard him out there going, "Whoa!" And I said, what's wrong, Russ? He said, there's alligators in that spring. Yeah. He said, I said, well, them little old alligators won't hurt you. And he said, I'm telling you that that's bad. He said, I dipped that bucket down and said, one of them alligators' tail hit me on the foot. And that scared me nearly to death. And I said, Russ, them alligators are just as scared of you as you are them. And he said, Junior, if that's the truth, then that water ain't gonna be fit to drink. Liz was out on a date. We were sitting at this red light having to wait. This old boy with a stupid grin, he just opened the door and got right in. Well, that light turned green and I had to go, because the horns beside me had done started to blow, and that traffic was going at a pretty good whiz. That old boy just wedged his way right in between me and Liz. And I thought, well, what kind of deal is this? Well, I knowed he wasn't right, but what could I say? I thought I'd just let it rock on that way. We just out there riding, me and him and Liz, when I noticed that his arm was around her neck and mine was around his. And I thought, what kind of deal is this? Well, I looked over at Liz, thinking she's going to tell me who that old boy is, when I noticed I was way out on a limb, because I couldn't kiss her without kissing him. And I thought, well, what kind of deal is this? So I opened that door and I said, now look here, Liz, you better tell me who this old boy is. She said, well, I don't know him. I thought he was your friend. He said, well, if you don't know him, what's he doing here then? So I opened that door and I started to hit him in the face, and he broke loose and running in a heck of a pace. And there I stood just looking at Liz, and both of us wondering who that old boy is. I've never been so bum-fuzzled in all of my life. Somebody's going to have to tell me, what kind of deal is this? A lot together. And we was down in the valley the other year. Yeah, down in the South Texas Valley. And Russ looked over at me and he said, let's go over and visit Carol and Cole. They over there at Tropical Wind. Well, we was at Donna. And I said, well, it's only about 35 more miles on over to Wesley Cole, or Harlingen. So I said, let's go. And so we got over there. Well, we were visiting Cole and Carol. And Carol said, you know what I'd like to do? Said, I'd like to go down to South Padre Island and walk on that beach and pick up some shells. And I said, yeah, that'd be a good deal. I said, let's just crank up and go down there. So while we're going down there, I said, let's stop at one of these ropo places where they sell them used clothes for a nickel or a dime and buy us a little vest with a pocket on it where we can put our shells in the pocket. Yeah. So we go and buy a whole sack full of stuff and it cost a quarter. And all of us had a little vest. So we're walking on that beach and we hadn't got 100 yards from the car. And one of them big birds down there flew over and delivered a message. Hit Carol right on the shoulder on a pretty new jacket. Yeah. And she looked over at me and said, Junior, what are we going to do? And I said, well, I've got a roll of toilet paper up there in the car. I'll run and get it. And she said, Junior, that ain't going to do no good. The time you get back, that bird will be a quarter mile away. Here somewhere before. Is your name Russ Phoenix, also known as the Mike Hog?
Well, let me check my little book here. I keep everything here in alphabetical order. Yeah, that's my name, Russ Phoenix. Yeah.
Huh. Was you down in Mission, Texas last February the 13th?
Well, let me check again here.
What's that come under?
It comes under, yeah, my mind's slipping.
People, places, or
Comes under places and people and things. Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
We were there for hamburger night in Mission,
yeah, hamburger
Texas.
night at the Mission West.
Yeah.
And when we went into that hamburger night, did some lady named Mangy come in with one of them big accordions, great big ones, and sat down right beside you at that jail?
Well, let me check that out again. Let's
What's
see.
that going to come under?
It comes under A for aggravation.
Aggravation, yeah. Okay. Did Mangy come in?
She came in and she played that big old thing and it just,
Well,
yeah, she played.
After that jam, did you and Mangy go over to her travel trailer and work on some new material?
Yeah, let me check on that again. New shows. Yeah, by golly, we did. We went back to her trailer and we played till 4 in the morning.
New material till 4 in the morning?
Yeah.
Well, I'm telling you, buddy, Mangy's my wife and I don't like it.
Well, I hate to tell you this, but I'll look under here again. You know, I didn't like it either.
And I was digging through my stuff and
Here.
and it's called Give Me the Roses While I Live. I know you've all heard it in standard song. And G. Wonderful things of folks are said when they have passed away. Fun. It's fun. Russ, I'm not ever coming over to your house again.
Why not?
Well, I stopped by yesterday to borrow your wheelbarrow, and I was sneaking it out from under your porch, and that bulldog of yours run me up the apple tree.
My bulldog won't bite. He's fond of children.
Well, I know that. Some of the neighbors was missing 2 of theirs there yesterday.
He'll eat one right out of your hand.
Yeah, he'll chew on your leg, too.
You running from my bulldog, and he was wagging his tail.
I know, but he was growling and chewing his teeth, too. I didn't know which end to believe. Me and Russ, I brought these. We'll do these. Oh, Russ will do it.
Now sing one, Jimmy. Sing one of them old lonesome ones.
Lonesome songs. I don't know any lonesome ones, too.
Yeah, you do.
Something.
I'm going to do a religious song by saying,
Well, do what you want to
Russ will
do.
do Sweet By and By.
That's it. That's a good
I
one.
do it in G.
G? All right.
That's a good one.
There's a land that is fairer than day, and by faith I can see it afar. For my Father waits over the gate to prepare us where we can stand in the sweet by and by. We will meet on that beautiful shore in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on that beautiful shore.
Right there.
We shall sing on that beautiful shore the melodious songs of the land, and our spirits will sorrow no more. On one side for the blessing will rest in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on that beautiful shore in the sweet by and by. We shall meet on that beautiful shore.
Oh, that's a good one.
Thank you, Glenn. Let's make Mr. Bruno Fox welcome.
All right. George was out here singing that handicap song a while ago. He wrote both these songs I'm going to do here, and they're on a CD back here somewhere. George has got them hid back here. I don't think he's wanting us to buy them. Like, you got them CDs here?
No, they're not here, but I could buy some gas and get back home tonight.
All right. This first song going to be Slowly Killing Me.
Take it easy now.
It's slowly killing me, it's slowly killing me. It seems that growing old is slowly killing me. I am a senior citizen, I'm filled with aches and pains. I should have been a weatherman, I know every time it rains. I used to bend and touch the stove, but now I can't touch the knee. It seems that growing old is slowly killing me. real classic. Old Betsy. Put her name, let's see what we can do with it tonight.
Oh, I gotta move away from you, love it. You beating me to death.
My old car is like a pretty woman. It's built back in 1923. It's still a thing of great beauty, and it's part of her family. Why we call her Old Betsy. Her body is so nice and deep. She's got thrown in all the right places. Old Betsy is a sight to see. Each morning I go out and caress her. Just being close makes me feel good. And when I get her motor humming, I'll take a peep up under her hood. I love to hear the sound of her engine. I love to hear the sound of her horn. You tell them folks in Detroit City, they don't make them like Old Betsy anymore. Play it on it. Woo. Old Betsy's got a heavy set of bumpers. Old Betsy